Where? Back here?
Yeah,
No,
see,
no,
you know?
It looks more like the Muppets.
All right, Mark, we are recording and we're good to go, I
See
believe,
if you
right?
get out
Okay.
of it and click on that up.
You ready to go at 7, Mike?
Yeah, we're good. We're recording now, so I just want to let you guys know.
It's 7 o'clock. Welcome to the June 21st, 2021 special meeting for organizational purposes, City of Manistee Planning Commission. Please rise for the pledge.
Oh, right for the flag, yeah. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please take roll.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Here,
Commissioner Samansky,
Here,
Commissioner Memberto. Here. Commissioner Weiner. Here. Commissioner McBride. Here. Commissioner Yoder.
Here.
Chair Whitliff.
Here, thank you. Approval of agenda at this time. The Planning Commission can take action to approve the January 21st, 2021 agenda. Is there a motion?
my motion.
Motion
Second.
by Bob, second by Mick. Any discussion?
All right.
None? Please take roll.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Samansky,
yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes, thank you. Excuse me. Approval of minutes. Did everyone get their meeting minutes from the 7th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I got it, but I didn't print it out.
All right. This time, the Planning Commission can take action to approve the January 7th, 2021 meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll make a
I'll
motion
make
to approve it.
Motion by Marlene, second.
I'll second.
By
Whatever.
Roger, any discussion? It won't take 5.5 hours. So,
It was 6.5 hours, but who's counting?
yeah.
That's right.
Bob was.
Yeah, 7 to 12:30 is 5.5. Where'd you learn your math?
Oh, okay. Well, you know, the record is 23 hours and 39 minutes, so we got a little ways to go.
I don't think we're going to do that, Nick.
4 hours later, I had to head for work.
So there's
I was at 5 hours later, so yeah, I got you.
Please take roll.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Samansky,
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes,
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes, thank you. Public hearings, we have none tonight. Public comment on agenda-related items. Anyone in the public would like to comment on the agenda? Name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
You may want to tell them how
Dick
to
and
get.
Sandy are up first. Dick and Sandy, do you have anything to say? Dick and Sandy? Dick and Sandy,
There-
do you have anything to say on agenda related items?
Negative, no.
Okay. Beth Wilkie, do you have anything to say about agenda related items?
They're still muted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to add. This is Beth Wilkie.
Thank you.
that it, Zach?
This is
Okay.
Dick and Sandy saying yes. We have nothing to say. Sorry about that.
Okay. Thank you. New business, organizational items, election of officers. According to the bylaws of the City of Manistee, the Planning Commission shall annually, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead, so excuse me. So with the election of officers, I believe that goes to Mike, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Zach's gonna run the meeting tonight, but yeah, we'll take it over.
Okay,
Zach, go ahead.
Okay, so at this time, does the planning commission want to nominate anybody for chair?
I nominate Mark.
I second.
Okay. Mark, do you accept?
yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn the meeting back over to you, Mark.
Well, hold on. You have to ask if there's any other
Yeah. Any other
Nomination.
people that are
nominations?
nominations.
You have to do it.
And you have to do it 3 times.
That's right. That's right. All right, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Learning.
So is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to you, Mark.
No, you have to vote.
You have
You
to
gotta
vote.
vote.
Oh, geez, listen to me.
Zach.
Roll call.
I'm
They gotta
sorry,
do a roll
guys.
call vote
All
on
right,
it,
Zach.
and then he has to accept.
Let's do that. Let's call roll.
Okay. Commissioner Slawinski,
Yes, Mark.
Commissioner Samansky,
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride.
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
I have to say yes? Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now you turn it back over to him, Zach.
Okay, so nominations for vice chair. Mike, can I make the nomination?
I think you have to open it up to the other commissioners to make the nomination.
Okay, so at this time I'll open it for nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Robert Slawinski.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Pam. Is there any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? None? Please take roll.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Yeah.
Commissioner Samansky,
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes. Congratulations, Bob.
Thanks.
There'll be a little extra in your paycheck.
All right, double or nothing makes nothing. All right.
And at this time, nominations for secretary.
Whoa.
Is
I
there
nominate,
any
I'll
nominations
nominate
for
Marlene.
secretary?
I'll second that nomination.
Who's that? Marlene? Zach, who got it? I was talking, so.
I missed it too. I was hoping someone else heard.
I seconded.
Mick seconded.
So is it
Second.
nominated Marlene, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So nominations for Marlene. Are there any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary? None? Please take roll.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Samansky,
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes. Congratulations again, Marlene. Good to see your face.
Yes.
Put your mask on.
Well, after the last meeting when my phone died, you guys all thought I just went to sleep or left the building, so now you can see I'm here.
Site plan review and subdivision committee.
Hey, Mark, don't we have to have a recording, you appointed a recording secretary before we go on to that?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That or Marlene, appoints one of you guys do.
Yeah, Marlene appoints it.
Well, Nancy is our recording secretary, correct?
You have to appoint her, and then there has to be a second, and then they have to vote on it.
But I mean, she is now the recording secretary.
Currently, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I nominate Nancy as the
Second.
recording secretary.
I'll second that.
So Nancy Baker is nominated or appointed for recording secretary, second by Roger. Do we take roll, or do we have to go through the?
You have to go through it if there's any other nominations,
Okay,
et
all
cetera.
right. Any other nominations for recording secretary? Any other nominations for recording secretary? Any other nominations for recording secretary? None? Please take roll.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Samansky,
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes, thank you. Congratulations, Nancy. Now, site plan review, subdivision committee. Site plan review committee needed for medium site plans for new construction. The zoning administrator has an option to forward requests to the committee. Committee reviews required for planning unit developments.
So we would actually like to strike that from the bylaws, Mark.
Okay,
We would like it to be eliminated. The site plan review committee is laid out now by the ordinance.
Yep.
But if you guys are making it a subcommittee, every time they meet, the public has to be invited. So we would like to not do that. So,
Okay.
and it's mainly because many times we're calling a site plan review committee, not necessarily that we're moving forward with the project, but because we need their expertise. And we don't want to call a meeting and get everybody worked up when the project, we kick it back and we say, hey, make these changes. And then they, decide to cancel the project, and then we've made everybody upset for no reason. So
okay,
it's laid out who they are in the zoning ordinance.
Okay.
We'd like to keep it that way.
all right. And so we do, Mike, do we vote on this?
Yeah, you have to vote to remove it from the bylaws, so.
Okay. So is there a motion to remove the site plan review subdivision committee from the bylaws? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Roger,
Yes.
Second it.
Kelly, or Marlene? Any discussion?
Yeah, Mike, can you give us a quick overview who's on it right now?
Yeah, you guys made an amendment in the last meeting to add, officially the members. The RCs, or the Ready Redevelopment Community, made us outline it even further than what you guys had it primarily before. So now we have the DPW director, the fire chief, the police chief, the planning department staff, or the zoning administrator, and I think there's one more I'm missing, city engineer. And so, but within that, it also says in the zoning ordinance that if we need to seek outside expertise, like the city attorney or the city manager or whomever, we're allowed to seek them through site plan review committee. So while we have originally five or six people that are going to show up for every review, and we push it out, if we need outside expertise that we just don't have, we can pull additional people in. So that's who's primarily in it.
Okay. Hey, baby.
We going outside?
Any other discussion? Please take roll.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Samansky,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Yeah.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes. Thank you. Zoning Board of Appeals, one member of the Planning Commission also serves on the Zoning Board of Appeals. As we had it is Marlene McBride. Nomination for this position?
For the zoning board of appeals,
Yes.
who is that now?
You.
I was afraid of that.
Put your mask on.
I've been on it
Nomination.
before for a long time. If somebody else wants it, fine. If not, I will take it back again.
Okay. Is there a nomination for this position?
I'd like to nominate Shelley Memberto.
All right.
I'll second it.
Second. Is there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? None. Please take roll.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Samansky,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Oh,
Roger,
sorry.
you're
I'm
muted.
Roger's muted.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yeah. Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes. Congratulations, Shelley.
Congratulations.
You're moving on up. Okay. The bylaw review, according to the bylaws of the City of Manistee Planning Commission, shall annually review their bylaws. At this time, the Planning Commission could take action to make changes to their bylaws if necessary.
This was probably where that motion should have went, Mark, just to let you know. To
What's that?
remove that. If you want to do it at this time, we can, we can do it again, I mean, but it probably should have went here, so.
Okay. So do we vote again on that, Mike?
I will.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Were there any other recommendations that were being made for changes?
I didn't have any.
no, just this one. You guys, we put them in there for your review, but this one we kind of felt was a necessary one.
Okay.
Okay, what section was that in the bylaws, so we know what section it's being moved from?
That was section 1242.03.
Hey, Mike or Zach, can you basically address our proposal to include the amendment that we had previously made?
Can you want us to read it back? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically just include that so that we're making an amendment to that the bylaws have been reviewed with the exception or with the inclusion of the
With the removal of,
removal that we just approved already.
Yeah, you guys could make that motion and then move forward with it, I think, to remove that. You could, make a motion that the previously, motion that was made during appointments for the removal of 04.3 be removed, and then you'd still have to vote, guys, but you could make that motion.
And it was 12.0.3?
Yeah, are we sure that's the right one?
yeah, as
Just
I'm very,
verify that.
I don't see no 12 in the bylaws.
I don't either.
I only see up to number 8.
Looking at 6.2, 6.3.
I would number it though, if
All
you
quarter
guys all
voting.
find it that way.
Oh, it's 6.3.
Zach, what was it again? Please repeat it.
6.2, and then it kind of bleeds into 6.3.
Okay.
And it doesn't specifically name the subdivision review committee in any of those parts at all.
No, it doesn't.
Also, it's not really even in there. It's any committees that we have.
Right, but it is listed as a potential subcommittee.
Right.
That's why we wanted to remove it, was for the simple fact that the way it's listed, while it doesn't outright name it, the fact that it's potentially putting it in there is dangerous, for the simple
Right.
fact that we'd have to, every time any kind of site plan came in, we'd have to have a public meeting. And because you're appointing a subcommittee onto it. And
So we
we're
need
like,
to-
this really
I think-
shouldn't be in here like this.
I think
So
we need
I-
to specifically spell that out, that it's not included in these committees. Just take any gray area out.
Right.
But I make a motion that we approve the bylaws and exclude any reference to a subdivision review committee.
Site plan review subdivision committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a question before we do? Is there a list of what the subcommittees actually are anywhere? Or is that just decided when we need one?
You guys have not formed one in my time that I'm
Not
aware of.
in mine either, and I think you and I started about the same time.
We used to have one. Mark was the chairman of it. Roger was on it. I was an alternate.
That was that was a site plan.
Yeah,
It was
Was on that for a
4 or
long
5
time.
years ago.
right.
Yeah.
So does that happen just when we need something? When we just need a subcommittee or?
Yeah, you guys can always appoint a committee to review things. So let's say you wanted to form a committee to redo the short-term rentals. You could have formed a committee to do that. And then you
Okay.
would only take a portion of the board to make recommendations to the greater board and work on it. And then eventually go to city council for final approval. So,
We just got to remember to keep it under a quorum size. So
Yeah.
Right.
Look at that 3.
it's,
Okay.
yeah, so you guys can put 3 people on it.
All right, but thanks for clearing that up for me.
Is that something you want to?
It was just a little vague to me, you know?
We just didn't like the gray area in it and the fact that it could potentially lead to, you guys call work sessions usually when you want to work on something. And those are what we put out to the public. So, if you guys get something that you're like, we'd really like to do a work session on this prior to any approval or anything, we can definitely do that as well. So you guys have done it in the past with the marijuana site plan review where you said, hey, we really just want to go through this with a fine tooth comb. We want to make it open to the public so they can, they can view us reviewing it. Now they don't get to they don't participate in that. But they can see that you're doing your due diligence on there. So this is really good for when contentious projects come into town.
We wouldn't have any of those, would we?
Yeah. Or like where you guys want to call a special meeting before you give approval or whatever. These are things that you can do to say, hey, when you guys get what you consider a finished application, we'd like to call a work review, or you guys have the right to review things, so if this is something that you would like to do, we can do it. So just keep that in mind as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the motion's made second. Is there any further discussion? None? Please take
I think
roll.
it got cleared up pretty good there.
Okay.
Commissioner Slawinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Samansky,
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoder,
Yes.
Chair Whitliff.
Yes, thank you. Next is the update from the RRC presentation.
Okay, we don't have a presentation per se for you guys tonight. The RRC came back on us, and last year when we gave you that PowerPoint presentation of the year projects, and they were looking more for what we have now, which is a list of your actions from the previous year. So these were all the presentations that you guys have in here, the dates of the meetings, what they were about, what took place within them. motions that were made, and basically just a general summary of what took place in the previous year. This is an RRC requirement that we have to fulfill, but we will take questions on this. So if you guys have any questions or feelings on this, feel free to, question it. So
Mike,
otherwise
who is
it's,
the RRC again? I
go
heard
ahead,
you-
Shelley.
I heard you say it before. Who is the RRC?
It's a Ready Redevelopment Community. It's a program through the state that the city of Manistee is involved in. A lot of the requirements that come forth for, like you're putting in more transparent information, or a couple years ago when Denise was in charge, she had to redo all the forms and provide like guidelines on for the how to move through them, clearly spelled out for the community, and how the process would work. Now, it's not 100% accurate all the time, but it's pretty close. And
Is it
so,
regulatory?
what's that?
Is it regulatory in nature?
So you guys will be having or taking part in another meeting at city council level. You're invited to it. I think I put it out to you several times because I keep moving it. But it is to do ready redevelopment sites. And as part of being part of that program, the city garners statewide support for development of certain sites within the city that the community gets forward, all the boards, the DDA, the ZBA, the Planning Commission. I believe there's other entities that are involved in it. I can't think of who they are off the top of my head, but maybe the chamber. I'm not 100% on that, but they get together and they kind of designate out the sites that we want to see developed in the next year that are problematic. They might be problematic, for one reason or another. One of those sites is like the Fasano site that's going in, where the restaurant is over by the across from the dairy there in the senior center. That was one of the sites that was identified and is now being developed. Now, if you're asking me to gauge the if this program is helping or hurting development, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't have that data. We've requested that data from entities that might have it, but we do not receive the we have it available. We do not very often receive any information on like RRC, like, hey, did you access us through the RRC website? Is that how you found us? So to say whether or not it is beneficial, I couldn't answer that question.
We used to have a joint meeting with all the committees with the city council on that. I remember being up there, but only maybe 2 or 3 of us from each committee would show up to the meeting. But
Yeah.
It was a large meeting where all this stuff was covered.
Yeah, that's supposed to be taking place. Give me a second. I'll be able to tell you exactly the date.
In August.
No, it's coming up very soon.
Very
It
soon?
used to be
Okay.
earlier in the year.
It's it got pushed. Hold on, guys. It is now, I believe, the 9th. And you guys are all invited to it, so please attend.
That's in February?
Yes. So Mick, you'll be there anyways, and
Yep.
I encourage you all to join. So
Yeah, 'cause-
they've moved it like 3 times now, guys. So I apologize. It has been moved out in order to assure that we're getting the sites that we want developed down there. We've reached out to several different entities, said, hey, can you give us support on the top, 10 that we want, and they've narrowed it down, but then overall there might be 25. I don't know how many they have on the list this year, but it's up to you guys to narrow it down even further and say, our top 5 are this, and we want these on the website.
Yeah.
So,
We used to get a whole big line of them, and were asked to rank them, which ones we wanted. Because I remember the Historic Commission there, the DDA, a couple other commissions.
mhm.
Yeah, we had our top 10.
And I think a couple of them are the former Ross Dairy building, which is part of
Mhm.
the planned development for the workforce and senior housing is on that list.
Yeah, actually, many of the properties that have been recently developed are on that list. Now again, is that the RSC or is that because we've noticed a value in those properties and they made it to the top of our list? It's hard to say, but I can tell you one of the most important buildings that we think should be one of the top ones on that is the old Northside Bakery.
I agree.
Yeah, that's
It's
been
on
on
that
there for a
list
few
already.
years.
And
I
so-
Had to-
Been on there
I
quite a
think
few
it's
times.
in the top 5 of that list.
Yeah, and I mean, I've walked through that building. I don't know if you guys have it. Needs a lot of work, but
It does.
it has remained on that list. But those are the types of buildings that we would see on that list where we'd say we really want to see this one developed.
Mhm.
If
So-
I remember right, I don't think we used to have the chamber on those meetings. I think they weren't part of it. It was just the city groups.
Right. I think the chamber's coming in as part of the DDA.
Okay.
And
Well,
so
they're
their
yeah, and
economic
they-
development.
right. They're actually an employee now of the city on economic development. So I would see
That
them
makes
as being
sense.
at least at the meeting, if not a voting member.
Right. And I think we lost Roger, guys.
Yeah,
I
we
just think
did.
he fell off. So I just wanted to let you know.
So where can we see, for those new people, I still consider myself new, where can I see this list that you guys are talking
It
about?
is not, it is the reason.
Because I've
it's
never
been-
seen this.
I could
not
send
been
you
out this
some
year.
older lists, but the reason it's been pushed back is because the development of the list is taking a little more time. So like,
But the old list is available, right? You could send her
Yeah,
that.
it's
the one
available
that's
on the city
previously
website.
approved.
On the
so-
city website, okay.
yeah. If you go to, I can't post in chat right now, but let me see. if
That's
I can-
okay, just tell me where to find it.
Okay, give me a second.
It used to have everything by a lot of our tax ID numbers for the sites.
Well, it was on a separate list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there
got its
was-
own webpage.
It has a separate sheet.
Yeah, and there was a separate sheet for each site also in there.
Mhm.
Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to find it. I usually find it a different way.
I just looked for my file box for the old stuff.
I wonder if they threw it under here. Give me a second, Pam. I'll find it. You guys can
That's okay.
continue.
It's, just send me, you can just email it to me, that's fine.
Okay.
If you would email it to everyone on the committee, just so that we're all are sharing the same info.
Yep,
Yeah.
I sure can.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
If I find it, because I'm going to find it in about 2 seconds here, I'll tell you where you can find it, but because I know the public's in here as well, and they're probably interested as well. So.
Here's Raj.
Welcome back, Roger. You've been added
Yeah.
to 4 more committees.
Glad to be back.
You were added to 4 more committees while you were gone.
It was unanimous.
Yeah, I believe it. I can handle it. I can handle it. One at a time. You need a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, we have till midnight.
We're going for daybreak.
Yeah, you don't have to work in the morning, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I might work before the sun comes up.
Yeah, you got that right.
Only 138 more days.
You're not
I'm
counting,
not
are you?
counting.
He's coming.
You got it circled on the calendar.
Oh, yeah. Linda's got it circled too.
I bet she does.
Okay, I found it, by the way. It's in this, if you go in the search, for the RRC redevelopment presentation initiative.
Zach, do you have the chat available to you in this or no?
No.
Okay.
And a lot of them, it shows like the Glick building.
The newer one or the one that was just redone?
Well, it's, you know, now it's now done. But again, what you're going to see is a lot of it is outdated because we've made progress on a number of those sites.
Yeah, the Washington School used to be one.
Yep.
You
Yep.
you could screen
Glitch
share,
building.
do a flyby if you wanted, Mike.
Yeah. So what are we doing? Go memory lane here or what?
It asked where the RRC was on here.
Oh,
And there's an actual web page that has everything on it. I'm trying to find that, and I apologize.
Some of the others was the laundry on the corner of River Street, which is now part of the Spirit of the Woods development.
Probably the Ironworks was on there, Mick, wasn't it?
I
Yep.
think so.
Yeah, it was.
So was that gas station at 31 and River?
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
That was,
But I think the chamber has that. I think the chamber should be able to send you, Mike, that full list.
Okay, I
the one
found
that
it, guys.
they can-
I apologize. It's under, so if you go to, it's not as labeled as well as I'd like it to be, but it is, so if you go to the City of Manistee, their webpage, and you go to government, and then you go to planning and zoning, wherever that is. Yeah, planning and zoning. It'll take you there, and then you go to Developers Resource Guide. It's one of the 3 links under planning and zoning right there at the top. And then it will take you to the City of Manistee as a ready redevelopment community. And then you can see the list of top priorities as well as applications, useful documents, and other resources.
Yeah, that's real easy to find there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
20 clicks later, you might be there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
you don't get lost.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mike.
All right. So, City of Manistee, City Planning, City Planning Commission, list of action for 2020. You want to go through those, Mike?
Zach, you got it?
Zach?
I don't know if I have those in front of me, Mike.
Just a list of actions. I can go through them. I have them right here. Okay, so I will go through them. Your January 9th meeting you guys had on the item on the agendas was Monroe Cottages, short-term rentals, and your election of officers. You got a presentation on St. Mary's Parkway and a presentation on short-term rentals. Your chair was Mark Whitliff, vice chair was Mick Szymanski, secretary was Marlene, and recording secretary was Nancy Baker. January 9th, you had a review of the bylaws with no changes. On February 6th, 2020, you had major ongoing projects with retention visits, the Gateway project, the manufacturing and recreation trail, and then the community college project as well was up for review. You had an ordinance review of short-term rentals, and then we moved on to the February 20th, 2020 special meeting on Monroe Cottages. You guys had a public hearing. Motions made during that meeting was a motion by Szymanski, seconded by Commissioner Slawinski, to accept the proposed development as presented with the added stipulations. The motion passed by a roll call vote of 5-0. Szymanski, Slawinski, Yoder, Weiner, and Whitliff. On March 5th, you had a home business, 816 Robinson, and that was the worm composting with Elena. You had a motion by Commissioner Szymanski, seconded by Commissioner Slawinski, to approve the home-based business at 816 Robinson Street with the stipulation that if a business sign is desired on the parcel, a sign request must come before the City Planning Commission for signage approval. Passed 5-0. Slawinski, Samansky, McBride, Yoder, and Whitliff. You guys also had an SUP grow facility at 254 River, which is the old Ironworks building. You had a motion by Commissioner Samansky, seconded by Commissioner Yoder to approve the special use permit for 254 River Street with stipulations. They're passed 5-0 to Slawinski, Samansky, McBride, Yoder, and Whitliff. You guys also seen the Tabernacle SUP extension, one of the first ones, at 77 Hancock. Motion by Commissioner Slawinski, seconded by Commissioner McBride, to approve the special use permit for a 6-month extension for the Tabernacle Church with stipulations of the permit extension date of March 20th, 2020 to September 20th, 2020, passed by 5-0 to Slawinski, Samansky, McBride, and Yoder. April 20th, we had no meeting due to the pandemic.
I can switch out here, Mike. if you want-
Okay,
if
go
you
ahead.
want to. I'm back on. So 5.7, you went over short-term rentals, agreed to a conservative draft being written and to move forward with the direction from the planning staff. You had amendments to the zoning ordinance. Will require a public hearing, amendments for the lower level dwellings and dumpsters. 6/4/2020, you had direction from city council. You're looking for updates from DPW, city manager, and city council, including direction. There's fences. And those you required permits not required as of 6/16/17 must comply with section 508 of the zoning ordinance. You went over site plan review committee, city to conform to RRC per the state, what it is, who is on it. You went over Wild Bill Smoke Shop at 357 Cypress Street for a 6-month extension. Motion by Commissioner Slawinski, seconded by Commissioner Weiner, to send a written notice of a non-compliance with 30 days to address the cleanup site and repairs. Passed 5-0. Slawinski, Samansky, Weiner, Memberto, Whitliff. 7/9/2020, Wild Bill's Smoke Shop, 357 Cypress Street. SUP stipulations met and it is in compliance. We then went over 24 Arthur Street SUP. There was a transfer request. A motion by Commissioner Samansky, seconded by Commissioner Yoder to approve the transfer of the SUP permit, passed 5-0. Slawinski, Samansky, Weiner, Yoder, and Whitliff. Motion by Commissioner Samansky, seconded by Slawinski, to approve 90-day extension on all parcels involved in the marijuana district that were approved prior to the coronavirus situation. That passed 5-0. Slawinski, Samansky, Weiner, Yoder, Whitliff. There was the Tabernacle Church at 77 Hancock. Motion by Commissioner Samansky, seconded by Commissioner Yoder, to extend the Tabernacle Church permit to November 15th, 2020, and that passed 5-0. Slawinski, Samansky, Weiner, Yoder. Short-term rentals. There was a letter to the city council requesting guidance. And then on 8/6, there was the SUP update for 294 12th Street. The requirements have been fulfilled. There was Alex Glitz at 219 5th Street. It was an auto repair shop requesting rezone of area. Recommendation to place under Key Street segment. PC supported Mr. Glitz to move forward. There's zoning design guidelines at 439 9th Street. Ordinance had no design standards. Dwelling must meet code. There's Chris Fulis. Taller accessory building required at 2226 Murky Road. Motion by Commissioner Slawinski, seconded by Commissioner Momberto, to grant the deviance from section 515D to be of reasonable height, which is not to exceed a 26 feet maximum inside height and an 18-foot maximum side height. Passed 7-0. Slawinski, Samansky, Weiner, Memberto, McBride, Yoder, Whitliff. Tabernacle SUP amendment, 77 Hancock. Motion by Commissioner Samansky, seconded by Commissioner Yoder, to grant permission to the Tabernacle to move forward and to follow the city engineer's requirements, which are added as a stipulation to the SUP. Passed 7-0, Slawinski, Samansky, Weiner, Lamberto, McBride, Yoder, Whitliff. There's the SUP transfer fees. The PC verbal agreement, $500 minimum for major amendments includes mailing costs, $200 minimum for transfers and do not require mailings. There's the 24 Arthur Street SUP. Transfer has taken place. There was zoning ordinance amendments. Motion by Commissioner Slawinski, seconded by Commissioner Memberto to follow staff recommendations, passed 7-0. Slawinski, Samansky, Weiner, Memberto, McBride, Yoder, Whitliff. On 9/3/2020, essential services request from the city. Glatchesky Drive to Veterans Oak Drive. Motion by Commissioner Samansky, seconded by Commissioner Memberto to allow the essential services for zoning in the Veterans Oak Grove Drive section to be submitted in the pictures, with the proposal for the berm, fencing, and the 100 by 100 lot, passed 7-0. Slawinski, Samansky, Weiner, Memberto, McBride, Whitliff. There's the Tabernacle SUP extension request at 77 Hancock. Commissioner Slawinski, seconded by Commissioner McBride to approve the SUP extension until August 1st, 2021. There's the 50 Arthur Street SUP transfer. Motion by Commissioner Szymanski, seconded by Commissioner Memberto to approve the SUP transfer of 50 Arthur Street, passed 6-0. Slawinski, Szymanski, Weiner, Memberto, McBride, Whitliff. There's the Elisa Lackey parcel split. Lasky at 507 Water Street. PC commending to City Council to approve the property split based on survey by Spicer Group.
That should be recommended, but, and then Zach, I'll give you a breather. It's October 1st, 2020, non-motorized trail plan update. State eligibility requirements for adoption for the 5-year recreation plan per DNR expires on 12/31/20. Baseline for the short-term rentals. We sent that motion by Commissioner Yoder, seconded by Commissioner Szymanski to move forward the above recommendations of City Council. We had those recommendations for the short-term rental that we sent forward to them. Short-term rental received requests from the city to work on short-term rental. I think that might be out of it. I believe we got that one back in July. I think that one's out of order actually right there, guys. July, yeah, we got recommendation back in July. It was the 7th. I'm almost positive. And then November 5th, 2020, Renee Cook Bed and Breakfast, 461 5th Street. Motion by Commissioner Szymanski, seconded by Commissioner McBride to grant the SUP extension, with this being the final extension for this permit. And then you guys had recently, December 3rd, River Water Development presentation for the livery and the dairy, and that's the senior housing project.
Okay. There's just correction on this, Zach and Mike and Nancy. January 9th, 2020, the vice chair that was elected is Bob Slawinski.
Yeah, I thought Bob was, but.
What about Bob?
Yeah, what about Bob?
He's the vice chair.
Yeah.
Okay, collections will be printed and they will get them in the mail.
Yeah, we're gonna print off corrections, guys. You'll get it in the mail. Once you sign off on it and just say, hey, these are good to go. We'll put this for the RC recommendations. I know there was also one other typo that I'm aware of besides the before the okay. Nancy got it together. We had to rush to get this done, to be honest with you. The way we were going to present it was not going to work, so we went back to the action log. So
okay, well, we were very busy this past year, even in the middle of a pandemic. So
right.
I thank all.
And we still, once you guys give approval, we'll put it for the RC but we still have to go to the city council, I believe, and give a yearly update as well. So we'll be using this. Maybe we'll put something a little bit prettier together, but we do also have to present to them. So I just want to let you know.
So is this just a straw poll or a vote that's needed?
I think you could straw poll it. I don't think a motion is
Okay.
good.
Any other questions, and how does everybody feel?
Let's go with it. Cleaning it up.
I'm sure you do great, Mark.
Shelley? You're on mute.
She said I'm good.
Okay. You can read lips?
Yeah, Mike reads lips.
Pam?
Sign language.
Tammy's good?
I'm good. Just get my name spelled right.
I will.
Minor.
Thank you.
And Roger,
Yeah, we're good. Good.
king of the road.
Nancy,
Sounds
will make it
good.
pretty.
Yeah, you'll do it. You'll do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Old business. Public comments and communication. Is there anyone that's still with us that'd like to comment on anything? Name and address, and you have up to 3 minutes.
They're muted.
Zach, could you go through them, please?
Yep, I Dick and Sandy, do you have any public comment you'd like to say?
They're still muted.
Right. We've asked them to unmute.
Yeah.
Dick and Sandy, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Dick and Sandy, do you have anything you'd like to say? Dick and Sandy, do you have anything you'd like to say? All right. Beth Wilkie, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I was just listening in to see what was going on with the places where the Lakeshore Motel is. That's the only thing I had comment to make on.
Staff reports. Is there anything that the staff has?
Mark, we have correspondence that we should read into
Okay.
the record.
All right, I'm sorry.
Only 2 this time. So we've got this one here that says Planning Commission and Counselors. Last weekend, my family and I were coming back through Traverse City from a successful afternoon tubing at Timberlea. One of the boys in the back of the Suburban exclaimed, "Wow, look at that. Look at that there. There were like 4 car dealerships right in a row. Oh my gosh. How many cars do they need?" He's 10. I immediately explained to him that this is effective zoning and planning. The offhanded comment and my further explanation of how city planners lay out districts and where they determine what types of things can and can't be built in an area didn't make as much of an impact on the 4 preteens in the back of the car as it did me. As planners and zoning officials, this is what you do. As a realtor in Manistee, that dives deep and goes a little beyond the surface. That explanation made my uncomfortableness of the proposed development at the Hampton Inn Hotel on the former Lakeshore Motel property more clear. Today I read in the Manistee News Advocate that this proposed development is classified as a planned unit development. In the attached definitions, the Hampton Inn is by definition a hotel, not a PUD. Condos with green space or higher density than the ordinances call for are for PUD eligible, not hotel monstrosities. The R1 zoning that encompasses this proposed site does not allow for hotels. The developers submitted this under a PUD is trying to skirt the zoning ordinance and take advantage of the residents of the city of Manistee and Manistee County. The R2 zoning district allows hotels, but only with key street frontage, and the R3 zoning allows for hotels in the high-density residential district. Subordinating all of the hard work that many planners and zoning officials have put in the Curry favors for a select few would be irresponsible. I've heard rumblings that the city is prepared to allow the proposed hotel to pave some of Douglas Park to get to the required number of parking spaces, not to sell them property, but to allow it to be paved. This is land that the city maintains for the benefit of the citizens and its visitors. I'm envisioning a hotel parking only sign around the perimeter of the needed spaces. I've also been alerted to some city officials are willing to run water and sewer upgrades and extensions to make this work. Any other business or entity would most certainly be responsible for hooking up at their own expense, not the city's expense. I'm all for development, but reckless and irresponsible approval of proposals may scar our city for decades. Planners and zoning officials have tried to develop the plan for the city in a responsible way to preserve our small town charm and lay out where certain types of developments are appropriate. Did they always get them perfect? No. I would use the industrial park on the city's north side as a bad example. An industrial area that is accessed by city streets and in a natural dune area might not be the highest and best use now, but at the time it may have been. Are there more appropriate areas for the proposed hotel? Yes. In the early to mid 2000s, there was a city deal that created the Peninsula District that was designated to take trekking out of the city and replace it with mixed use redevelopment. The district allows for hotels from my understanding has been part of the master plan for a number of years. There is a parcel of land in the peninsula that is over 8 acres of waterfront that is available for this hotel project. Let's be measured with our development and not push things through without getting it right. The city zoning map can be referenced by this link. It is a huge file and will not email. There are zoning districts and their regulations and their restrictions attached to the end of this email for reference. Thank you, Randy Z. This one is dated January 19th, 2021 for the Manistee Planning Commission. I also see where most of the trees between the Lakeshore Motel and the playground have been marked for removal, which will further increase the unsightliness of a hotel of this size, as well as decrease the privacy they provide while our children are playing on the playgrounds. I'd like to express my concerns about the building of the Hampton Inn where the present Lakeshore Motel is located. I'm certain this is a difficult decision for the city council to make in that it is forced to weigh the possible benefits of the city against the negatives a huge change like this would make to Manistee. My first concern relates to the necessity of zoning change. When we purchased our property, we were told that the city controlled the zoning of the property, which restricted the height of any structure built there. Considering how well the Planning Commission has done up to this point with keeping all of the new developments in line with the Victorian city style, I had faith the city would prevent a hotel of this size to be built. The attraction of Manistee as a Victorian port city is not only unique on the Lake Michigan shoreline, but also attractive, as is seen, for example, by the popularity of the Victorian Sleigh Bell Parade. My other concerns have to do with the increase in crowds and traffic. Having more people on the beach would cause more foot traffic on the badly eroding dunes, which is already a problem. I also see where most of the trees between the Lakeshore Motel and the playground have been marked for removal, which will further increase the unsightliness of a hotel this size, as well as decrease the privacy they provide while our children are playing on the playgrounds. In addition, the combination of children playing on slides and swings on the beach by the road, as well as people crossing the road to the beach, coupled with increased traffic could potentially be very dangerous. Likewise, having so many hotel guests in such a close proximity to where my autistic grandson plays on the rocket ship playground, as he calls it, would be worrisome to me and his parents, even with adult supervision. The increase in traffic on Lakeshore Drive, Beach Road, First Street, and Cherry Road would also change a relatively safe area to an extremely unsafe one for people and families who take walks along these roads. Additionally, the increase in traffic would put our children at risk who frequently use these roads to ride in the bike lanes set aside for them. My hope is that you'll take these concerns of mine into your consideration. Thank you, Beth and Jim Wilkie. And that's what I have for correspondence.
All right, thank you, Zach. Okay, now we'll get to staff reports. This time the chair will ask staff for their report or reports.
All right. So we do have meetings coming up, guys. We anticipate that we're going to have within the next month an actual application that is finished and ready for review for this Lakeshore project. So I did want to make you guys aware of that. We do anticipate it coming in within the next 30 days. I know you guys are getting a lot of feedback from the public, and you know, even some of the feedback we received tonight. Some of it's correct, some of it's not. You know, the beach isn't a critical dune. I'm just letting you know that. So it is. It's not rated 1 by Eagle. I'm not going to get into all the misinformation, but I do think it's valuable to read to you guys the definition of a PUD from the ordinance. I do think that's valuable, and I will do that. So, and I will probably include it in your next packet so you guys can reference it. But I feel like if you have questions, we could talk about it now. And then another thing is the Peninsula District does allow for hotels. The issue with some of that is there's a lot of brownfield cleanup in there. So to sit there and say, hey, we allow this use in the Peninsula District without realizing that there's a mighty price tag involved in cleanup efforts over there that would be required with any of this is an understatement. So while it allows for it, you do have to find the right developer to come in to do that. With many of our projects, I think the community feels that we get to pick and choose who's coming in. And I wanted to address that and say we don't. So, you know, people have come to me and say, hey, was that senior housing project the correct project for that lot? And I said, well, did we have another one? No, we didn't. In fact, that project's been vacant for many years. If it's such a high priority or high targeted area, we'd have people tripping over themselves to do it. We don't. You know, so I do want to address those things. Is like, as a planner, if we had multiple projects, we would pick between those, but we don't. So, but let me read the Peninsula District for you guys, or I'm sorry, the plan unit development. And a plan unit development is, and your guys' ordinance is there are different kinds or types of plan unit developments. Yours is very loose in defining what a plan unit development is. Like, we have residential developments. We have, you know, ones that you typically see when you think of a residential development, which is like, you know, an apartment complex, or, you know, several, kind of like the Hollander project with green space areas. But there are different kinds. There are different types. So I did want to put that out there. So when people generalize it, it's not doing a service to it. The zoning ordinance defines it exactly what it is. So I'd like to read that, if that's all right with you guys. It's section 1870, planned unit development. A special land use intended to accommodate developments with mixed or varied uses, innovative design features, and or sites with unusual topography or unique settings. Statement of intent. It is the purpose of this section to permit flexibility in the regulation of land development and to encourage innovation and variety in the land use and design of projects. The basic provisions concerning plan unit development are the subdivision development and the use of land as an integral unit combining more than one primary land use, and which may provide for a single family residential, multifamily residential, education business, commercial, recreation, park and common use areas which are compatible with one another, or to provide efficient use of land. The objectives of the plan unit development standards shall be to permit flexibility in the regulation of land development, to encourage innovation in the land use in variety in design, layout, and types of structures constructed, to achieve economy and efficiency in the land use of the district, natural resources, energy, and to provide public services and utilities, to encourage useful open space and to provide improved housing, employment, and shopping opportunities, particularly suited to the needs of the residents of the state and the city, to encourage the innovative use or reuse and improvements of existing sites and buildings, regulations and conditions, and its establishment and authorization as a special use. In the addition to the foregoing provisions, the following procedures, standards, and conditions shall be observed. Where the Planning Commission determines it is necessary to allow more flexible and innovative development to occur, it may recommend that the terms of the Manistee zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations be adjusted in accordance with the provisions of this section. Plan unit development shall meet the following general standards. The use shall be compatible with adjacent land uses, the natural environment, and the capacities and effective public services and facilities, and that such use is consistent with the public health, safety, and welfare of the residents of the city of Manistee, and the benefits of the development shall not be achievable under any single zoning classification. The use shall be consistent with the city of Manistee master plan and future land use map. The use and development shall be warranted by the design and additional amenities made possible with the incorporated by the development proposal. The development shall consolidate and maximize usable open space. Landscaping shall be provided to ensure that proposed uses will be adequately buffered from one another and or surrounding public and private property, and to create a pleasant pedestrian scale outdoor environment. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys, I lost that. Our vehicular and pedestrian circulation, allowing safe, convenient, non-congested, and well-defined circulation within the axis of the development shall be provided. And existing important natural, historical, and architectural features within the development shall be preserved. There's dimension and use standards as well. In acting upon the application, the Planning Commission may alter lot size standards, required facilities, buffers, open space areas, setback requirements, height limits, building size limits, off-street parking regulations, landscaping rules, miscellaneous regulations where the regulations are or changes are responsible for consistent with intent, objectives, and standards set forth in section 1872. Further, the Planning Commission may also alter residential density limits, providing they are generally compatible with the purpose and intent of the planned unit development section B of this ordinance, are compatible with adjacent land uses, and do not overburden roadway capacity. The Planning Commission may authorize principal and other uses not permitted in the district where the land is located, provided that such are consistent with the intent of this section and the standards set forth herein. Dimensional and parking use restrictions of the underlying zoning shall not apply to the area within the approved PUDs unless explicitly retained in the permit. Any deviation granted under this section which do not conform to the city of Manistee master plan shall be written in the findings of facts justifying the exceptional variance. So, and then it goes into the PUD application process and what's going to be required on that. That's more in our line. But as you can see, the PUD is very flexible from what you guys are requesting, or what they're requesting. Many of what is found in here falls in line with it. So while it's not a typical PUD in the fashion of this is in a condominium or an apartment complex, your PUD, the way it is written, allows for this use within an R1 area. So I know that's been put out and asked about the way that your zoning ordinance, which follows what you guys have forth in your master plan and such, allows for this. So I did want to touch on that and take any questions you guys might have if you want to review it and then follow up with me. I strongly encourage that. It is section 1870 of the zoning ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Anything else, Mike?
No, not at this time. I mean, we've been extremely busy. As always, we have a new staff planner starting on Monday. We're very excited to welcome her. Her name is Katie Mehl. Mel, sorry. It's M-E-H-L. Apparently it's Mel, not Meal. She'll be starting on Monday. We're excited to bring her on. Looking forward to it. You guys will meet her. She's a young planner. And like I said, we're very excited to have her. So
Excellent. Thank you. Zach, you have anything?
I don't have anything. I'm all set, guys.
Okay. Nancy?
No,
No? Okay. So we'll go to member discussion. We'll start with Marlene. Anything?
Yes, I just want to remind everybody that we do have a city charter that has all the regulations, what can be done on city property and that, and particularly pertaining to the hotel they want to build. I know it's an R1 and it's limit on heights and all the other things, but we cannot give them use of our parks and parking lots and things like that. And I talked to Mike, I'd like to get a copy of that charter so that, and each of us, so that we know exactly what is in that. And I'm sure the city attorney has one so that they know not to, go forward with stuff, because if that was the case, that has to go to the public to be voted on.
Okay, thank you. Bob?
I got nothing, but I need to get with you, Mike, tomorrow on another subject out on other area of the county on one of my clients for surveying.
Okay, I'm actually off tomorrow. Can Zach help you, or is it?
Yeah,
I'm
Zach could
actually.
probably help. Zach could help me on it.
Is it GIS related?
It's cemetery related.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Okay.
which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be in the office because I'm meeting a different person to go out and walk an area of the city to look at trails.
Okay.
If
Or
you meet
Monday
me, if you're there at 9, I'll make myself there at 9. So just come on in, Bob.
Let's do it Monday if you can.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
Thanks, Bob. Mick?
No, like I said, it's interesting. I've received as many positive calls on the Lakeshore property as I have negative. In fact, more positive than negative. I think a lot of people see the possibilities for how this could impact the overall community. A number of people have mentioned the fact that don't forget that the tax revenues from this property would increase exponentially. Right now, that motel pays less tax than I do on my house on 5th Street, okay? And the new property would be giving the city over $400,000 a year. Well, overall taxes, $400,000, which would mean $100,000 just for the city. So, again, it's not all negative. And again, I just would hope that people don't see only the negative sides of this. I think before the city would move forward, they would make sure that any agreements they had with this property would make sense and would meet all the other requirements. I know that the city has been talking about the sanitary, sewer systems and the water. All of those things are being factored in. So they would certainly be considered before any move would be made with the city. That's it.
Thank you, Mick. Shelley?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of the members of the public that have reached out and continue to. I just want to encourage them to keep attending this, keep sending so that thank you.
Pam?
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of some pros, mostly cons about the Hampton Inn. I'd like to let everybody know that that's not a done deal. They have not closed on the property. It's still a pending property. They have not bought it for sure. So, and I really wish that a lot of the public would know that, because just, yeah, like Shelley, just keep on sending their opinions in.
Yeah, and if somebody would like to buy it, it's 2.7, right?
Well, you can ask anything you want to in real estate. You can ask. That doesn't mean you're going to get it. I guarantee you they're not paying 2.7 for that. I have not seen the contract. It's, like I said, it's still pending. So, but I guarantee you they're not paying 2.7 for that.
Roger? You're on mute.
There he is.
No, I think we're doing a fine job. I've got no more to say.
All right, thank you. I have nothing to say, but well, I do. Congratulations to Bob, Shelley, Marlene, on your appointments. And
congratulations to you, Mark.
Oh, thank you. And thank you to Mike and Nancy and Zach. And we look forward to meeting Katie soon. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I'll
Second?
second. I'll second.
Done deal. See you next time.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night, guys. Thank
Bye.
you.